Here's a song by our friend Titanic Sinclair, who always makes the grooviest stuff. Look up Titanic online. From Harmontown. No. Oh yeah, from Harmontown. We're in Harmontown. In Hollywood, California. Welcome once again. Harmontown is now in session. So many friends. Spencer Creighton, everybody. Spencer. Rob Schraub. That's our show. Good night. Thanks for coming. How about the mayor of Harmontown, Mr. Dan Harmon?
Thank you. What a show. What a show we have.
What
tonight.
a show. We got so much planned for you tonight. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper.
All right, I came up with a bit. I have a bit.
Here comes the bit.
I have a real bit. Do you have a segment music for a real bit I have?
Yeah.
Sometimes you think of a real bit, and this seems like something that a real comic would do. Okay, so you know how everybody thinks professional wrestling is fake?
Right.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just decided last night. I'm already messing up the bit. That I think all other wrestling is fake. And then, because you can't tell me that for 6,000 years, teams of people have been getting together and dressing the same and trying to pin each other on a mat, and nobody thought to bring a snake or a 2x4.
Yeah.
So 14 more years of that, and I'd have like a strong 10 minutes. Thank you. So but in the meantime, back to the regular show, which is nothing.
You're like 59 minutes short of a full HBO comedy special.
Is the microphone supposed to be back further? Don't you guys like it was back further?
I liked it better. The other way. I liked it better close.
Not talking to you. That's okay. Thank you for the mushrooms last night.
So Dan and I did, and Cody, we did mushrooms, and we went to a fancy restaurant, which is a terrible idea. I didn't know we were going to have dinner.
Jeff in the car.
What did you think you were going to do at the restaurant? Exercise?
I didn't know we were going to a restaurant.
Jeff in the car on the way to the Bel Air Hotel. So you should take them now, because that way, because they take an hour to kick in. And then I think I don't know when we took them, but exactly an hour after we took them, we were at a maitre d' station.
See, I didn't know we were having a fancy dinner.
And it's in a restaurant where everybody was like, that better be Peter Jackson. Because otherwise it's homeless Hodor. It's the thing. I was just dressed. Well, I was wearing these clothes, and Jeff was wearing a suit that was then we ordered the food, and then it came, and it looked like Beetlejuice, and
my appetizer was terrifying. It looked like my salad was talking to me, and it was wild. And you don't want to eat.
In my memory, what you ordered looked like an Indian headdress.
Yes, it did.
Exactly. It was like there were leaves coming out of different colors.
What was that movie? The Mayan sacrifice movie, the Mel Gibson produced one. My meal looked like Apocalypto.
He ordered the Apocalypto. Sorry, I'll face this way too sometimes.
And I looked over. Cody was laughing like crazy. Dan looked. You looked really paranoid.
I was upset.
And I just said, hey, you guys, why don't you guys take a walk? I'll take care of the dinner. So I pretended like I was your handler, like your manager, because I had a suit on, and I said, Mr. Harmon and Cody, they had they found out they had to leave. May I please get their food to go for them, and I'll take care of it. And so I sat there.
We're like running around in the front. I'm a seagull.
So I walk out. I enjoyed my dinner, and it was trippy because I was sitting there like when you're on mushrooms, you're very self-aware, and you feel like everybody else is also kind of aware of you, but maybe they're not at all.
Right.
But now I'm just a dude in a suit with all like 3 people's food in front of me. And I made it out of there alive. I had a couple drinks, and I tipped pretty big on your card, so I hope you like that. And I bone out, and then Harmon is sitting out by himself at a fountain, and he's got his left hand in the fountain, and the water's trickling on his hand. And I go over there, and you were like, the fountain was talking to you.
When I laid my palm on top of the surface of the water, and when I dipped it beneath the surface, my hand became an ape's hand. And if I lowered it, it became an alien hand. Because apes are more sophisticated than aliens. And the more primitive the life, the more advanced it is, because the more primitive the life, the more it is able to contact me, because it's based on water, and water is the conduit. So as I kept my palm on top, as when Jeff came up, I had just figured out that if I keep my palm on the top of the water, I can listen to all life. And do you know what it said? Jeff sat down and he said, "What did it say?
What did all life say?"
It said, "Tell our story."
It would.
And I will. Life hitched its wagon to the right star that night. I see your story set in the Old West, but with Andy Dick as the sheriff. Someone pay me.
I watched Aliens. That's what I did last night.
Steve's got cups. We need those.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Steve Levy.
Steve.
Steve Levy, everybody.
Watch the second half of Aliens. That's a good movie. It still holds up. It's fun.
The second one?
The first Aliens.
Oh, don't. I mean, okay.
What? There was only what?
The second movie in the Alien franchise. The
Right,
first
and
James
I watched
Cameron
the second
movie.
half of it.
Right.
Just the second half?
Just the second half.
My favorite line in that movie is not "Game over, man," but in that same conversation, it's like because Bill Paxton and she's like, she knows the way around this, and he's just like, why don't you put her in charge? And I didn't do it.
I don't know if you're keeping score. We just got our asses kicked back there.
All the other ones, I feel like, well, it's Bill Paxton. It's sort of like Bill Paxton. It's great because in the sense of like, oh, Christopher Walken or Nicholson, like it's like a caricature of himself. But that line, why don't you put her in charge? I kind of also. I was like immediately. It was like, yeah, what the fuck is going on, man? We're gonna get killed. Like you know what I mean? Like it was good. It was also like he could. There was a tunnel to his soul.
Good in that? Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser's very good in that.
Paul Reiser's great in it. That whole movie is like
really
a slam
good.
dunk.
Yeah.
Slam dunk. That's a slam dunk.
Spencer, you ever done mushrooms? Are you a mushroom guy?
Nah, man. Because, here's the thing they say about mushrooms. You know what they say? They say, if you think you're going to have a good time, you will. And I can't think I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, people freak you out by saying it's like this weird Mobius strip of like, oh, if you think it's possible to have a bad trip, then you will have a bad trip.
No, I only think it's possible to have a bad trip.
And yeah, I understand completely. Same thing. I just took I wanted my I didn't want my girlfriend to think I was a pussy.
Filthy fucking hippies.
But Cody had a bad time. We both kind of had overall a bad time. I mean, I think it was worth it to just communicate with all of life. But I think if
she was saying like demons were coming out.
We only took enough to have kind of a bad ecstasy trip. Like it wasn't like we didn't. It's like I think the point of psilocybin is supposed to be ideally that and they're using it to treat post-traumatic stress now and other ailments because psilocybin has a clinically measurable effect of some something previously thought to be immeasurable, which is perspective. Like you actually take enough of it, and you walk away with the sense that you are part of a larger whole. And it's sort of like they give it to like people that were in Iraq and got blown to bits and are having trouble coping with that stress and shoving it down. And they experimented with giving them psilocybin and they're finally doing some scientific research into these effects. I think if you don't take quite enough to push you through onto Jim Morrison's other side, that you simply are just like super aware of yourself. Because I got out of the shower and I was just like staring at myself in the mirror, and I knew that I was disgusting, but I was also like, I'm beautiful. Like I was like Cody after like 20 minutes, he's like, baby, you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm an ape. Like I just know that I'm an ape, and I was just naked, and all of the patterns of my body hair and how they were revealing that I had descended from an ape that had gone through a semi-aquatic phase. That's right. That's why we're hairless. That's look it up, Elaine Morgan's aquatic ape theory, and it was being proven to me because the scintillating drips of water were following this this perfect pattern, and it was just like this. Everything moves when you're on mushrooms. So I was like, my big pink round gut was like pulsating like this cocoon full of baby apes, and I was just like. And I was just going like this and watching my belly button and my nipples turn into this mouth going like, ah, this face going like.
It sounds like you had enough.
I did, but it was all kind of up here. It wasn't. It was all about the self, and I think that a true mushroom trip.
I told you guys to take 3. You only took 2,
kids,
right?
if you're doing it, take more. And tell the cops I said it was all right.
The first time I ever did mushrooms, I was with Jason Sudeikis and a friend of his from Second City. We were in Vegas, and he was doing a show at
the... Dude, this story is such horseshit. I was so sick of you telling the story about you and Jason Sudeikis and his comedy friends taking mushrooms. I know it's fucking not true.
It is true. I was in the bathroom, and I heard knock, knock, knock. And then Jason Sudeikis is outside. He's like, "Hey man, you okay?" Because we just taking mushrooms, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool. I'm just talking to the shampoos right now," because the shampoos. He and his roommate. They were doing a comedy show at the Flamingo. And they were staying at a place near where Tupac got killed, I think. And they had all these stolen hotel shampoos, and they were like a little choir of angels singing to me. I'm like, "I'm cool. I'm just singing with the shampoos." And Jason's like, "All right, see you."
I was trying to tee up like a fancy, like a clever.
I knew what you were doing.
Right.
I know what you were doing.
Who else did you do mushrooms with? Will Forte?
Will Forte is one of the biggest fucking pussies in the world. He would never do drugs. He would never do it.
If he were here and Jason Sudeikis were here, they would both fucking kick your ass or be mad.
Let's bring out Jason Sudeikis and Will Forte.
All right. Thank you. What a
Hey, Will,
reception.
I'm sorry about the whole pussy remark thing, man.
That's all right.
Okay, I feel bad about that.
He didn't know you were here.
You look a lot tougher now, Will, with the shaved head thing. You look much more like you might kick my ass for real.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
It's half the battle, just looking like it.
Yeah.
Is this are you still shooting Last Man on Earth this season's Last Man on Earths?
No, we finished a couple months ago, so we start writing on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow.
And so you actually sit in the writer's room like full services, but you can't. At a certain point, there's overlap, right? You can't.
There's overlap. So then at that point we do the acting all day, and then I got to write at nights and on weekends.
That's not true.
Come on.
No. I don't mean that to be like you're lazy. Literally. Acting in a scene. I'm acting in a scene with them, and it's like, okay, cut. We're going to turn around. I go this way because our chairs and the food's like over this way. Will goes this way, and then there's a laptop open, and like works on it like on the laptop the whole time. Because I was like, yeah, I'll do the show. Like like it'll be fun to like hang out with you and act with you. And it was like we only got to pretend to hang out. I mean, we got paid. But then you left, and then you went to go do his other job, like literally during the day.
That's pretty
I
remarkable.
work very hard. I'm a very hard worker.
It's incredible. He really is.
Are you writing? Will, are you writing that episode? Or are you writing future episodes? Are you freestyling as
he's rewriting episodes that have already aired? He's nuts. He's nuts.
Yeah, but also different shows. He's doing 227 episodes.
Improving them though. All of them better.
Yeah.
Jack A has never been sassier. Is this alcoholic?
Yeah. Where's
that coming from?
Do you want to drink?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
That one. No, that's all right.
Who's running Last Man on Earth?
It's Andy Bobrow and who you know very
Community.
well, and Eric Durbin now is coming in to co-show run. So,
okay. Because Bob Rowe, you finally figured out he's a fucking.
He's the worst. He's not good. No, he's fantastic.
I
He's
love
fantastic.
him so much. He's. I mean, I was talking to Monica Patrick, an old community writer. We were at the hotel having brunch, and we were just everybody's scattered to the 85 winds now. There's a community person everywhere because we did 6 seasons, and I'm sure some of them are like. I'm sure they all hate me, but I'm sure also some of them. What I like is I'm nostalgic about just like the family of it all. Like you look at each season. It's like, oh man, season 3 was great. We had so and so and such, and then I was looking at the Yahoo season and even thinking, I don't know what I'm explaining to you. It's just
that it's the expanse of it after it all sort of. It's the same way at SNL or like even when I watch TV and I bore Olivia with like, oh, I did Second City with that guy in that commercial.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when it's like us. I would say like even me, you, and Jeff. We've known each other for 20 plus years. That idea of like.
I guess that's the feeling of family, well, that's why grandparents are like, it'd be nice to hear from you once in a while because they're like they only run 2 shows in their life for like 30 seasons each, as like a mother and a grandmother,
60 minutes
and then
in
they're
Jeopardy.
like, be nice to see you.
How did you guys meet the first time then? The 3 of you.
Comedy Sports in Kansas City, actually.
There was because Dan was Milwaukee Comedy Sports, Jason was Kansas City, I was L.A., and Rob is obviously Milwaukee, and we met.
Obviously, just look at me.
Look
at how Milwaukee.
You weren't at that tournament, I don't think. Were you at Kansas City?
I don't think I was invited.
There was a Kansas City tournament. You were probably invited.
I was probably invited.
Everyone's allowed to go.
Everybody's allowed to go.
But like.
You guys became an 80s mattress commercial for a second. Serta, Springer. A galaxy of savings.
But like Jason, you were in a group with our friend Jeremy Carter, who's in Super Ego. Like, we all, like not every city, but a lot of the cities in comedy sports. When we went to a tournament, they were kind of the younger crew that we all kind of circled around each other and became friends, and we all like have remained friends. It's really crazy.
We all were kind of annoyed at our bosses. I mean, bless all their hearts, but But I remember there's always that thing.
Name names.
James Bailey, Clancy Hathaway, and Dick Chudnow.
Yeah.
Like, I know all their names. I remember their names. Teenage anger doesn't go away that quick. They're still making money off it.
We would all just like talk shit about our kind of bosses.
What kind of shit?
Well, they were just never doing anything right in our minds.
Yeah, the bosses.
We were 22 and we were like we were so funny and like oh so and so is paying us $20 a show, doesn't give us gas money and doesn't he know how to run a thing? They didn't.
They were great. We wouldn't have all met each other. We wouldn't have met the friends. I mean, tough to be the boss.
I wouldn't have got on Whose Line if I didn't do 10 years of short form improv. Like that was a school for that.
Yeah.
But we all eventually said fuck this shit and like moved on.
Yeah. And I'm not an actor, but of course, as a writer and producer, Comedy Sports gave me all my people skills. It helps you when you're dealing with the network. I would have been a real bad apple in their eyes if I hadn't learned to say yes and to every fucking idiot. They still don't like me. I don't know. So let's talk about writer actor hybrids, because you're talking about. Well, I just don't even. I mean, I really want to get my head around that, because I'm having pings of insane jealousy there with the idea of you being on set, having sold a show, created it, developed it, and now you're on the set and you're still running over to the laptop like I'm I've got such a man crush on you for that. And just I because I
told you this would be fun.
I mean, what are
I
you
didn't
really...
know that I would meet somebody.
In the scene that he's describing, are you? Is what's on the laptop like scenes that are about to shoot that week, or is it like a next episode?
No, we will every once in a while you'll get into a case where you're writing stuff for stuff that week, but usually it's jamming out the stuff that's coming the following week. I mean, ideally you're to a place where you get this stuff all settled before you're even shooting. Cause
ideally, yeah.
I hate, but it does not happen all the time.
Every year it's like the first day of school. You're like, here's my math notebook and my trapper keeper, and the unicorn's going to hold the pencils, and here's my 3 shirts I'm going to wear, and then 2 days later it's bubblegum unfolding like with the thing, and like
I have so many Doogie Howser journals, like either in real writing, they're just like 5 strong days, and then I forget it and go on a trip, and it's like, well, I'll never fuck that. Like, I had this one that was like, it was like a little tiny one like this. It was like write something for 5 years. I got it as a Christmas gift, so New Year's. All right, great. Literally went 2 days, went on a trip, and now it's done. And I won't. It's like I won't even pick up on it because it's like, no, if I can't do the 5 years straight, I'm only 5 months into it, 6 months into it. I'm like, no, it's dead to me. Sorry, I blew it. You squandered potential.
When you got from, I was with you I was there in Las Vegas the night we happened to be in Las Vegas. You were in Second City, Las Vegas. You had been bumped up to the minors from Comedy Sports 2. Like you were doing like there was like 30 people in the audience in this club in Las Vegas, and it was a funny improv show, and but you were kind of beaming and trying to keep your Don Draper vibe, because you're such a hipster, but then quickly we were told that like the scout from SNL had been there that week or maybe that day.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember the exact timeline, but I mean that's where
it was the night that it was like official. I think that you were going to be on SNL.
Oh wow, that was then that would have been. Had I already auditioned for it? Do you remember?
I think they just came and scouted you. I don't know if you had auditioned.
The only thing that scouted,
maybe that's what it is. Maybe you got the audition. But
it was a manager. It was a manager that saw myself and Kay Cannon, who I was in the cast with, and then a guy named Seamus McCarthy, and that manager picked us all up, and then the guys made tapes because they were looking for guys, I think, or at least I made a tape. And I just filmed the show basically and then sent it in. And so I knew maybe I was going to get to go audition, I would assume maybe at that point. But
they offered you a deal, as I recall, that had been, there was a template for it in the past. It was like,
getting hired as a writer.
Yeah.
So I went to go audition for the show and then didn't get it. But they liked me, and then I got a week later. They were like, "Hey, why don't you come out again?" And this is when you meet Lorne Michaels, and it's sort of like he's just making sure you're not crazy, or like I think he said he wants to make sure you're someone that if you walk by in the hallway at 2 a.m. he wouldn't be scared or worried. Which is like it makes sense. It's his gig.
What do you think started that rule?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, who do you think made that happen?
Either it was someone or else it was a part of him that he didn't want to deal with. You know what I mean? I mean,
Come on, it was Tim Meadows.
It was Tim Meadows. He's a hot, just a loose cannon. I was going to say loose gun, hot cannon. What am I doing? But we, So then you go out there, and then I got hired as a writer, which I was a little bit like, I was like, oh. Nuts, which is ridiculous. But I didn't send in a packet. I had imposter syndrome, all that stuff. Once getting it, and then you just kind of just say yes, and then hope to God it all works out.
And it paid off.
You kind of knew that they were kind of grooming you a bit for being in the cast, right?
Yeah, and that was what you're talking about. At that point, there was Tina had done it, and David Spade had done it, and Sandler had done it, and even back in the day, Chevy did it kind of to a degree. Who else? There's everybody.
Robert Schneider.
Yeah, everybody that had done it in the past. That been a writer and was a cast member. Had all made that you sort of knew who they were.
Well, they never tell you about Gorby Phillips.
Yeah, never. Yeah, Gorby doesn't get his love.
He's the guy who wanted to be an actor. They gave him a job as a writer, and he's still there.
Oh,
his office is in the basement.
Horrible writer, hilarious in the room.
Yeah,
hilarious in the room. You love him in the room. You love him in there. He just keeps people laughing.
I remember Jason, like after the first season or two of when you were in the cast, you would come back to LA and we'd go have a drink, and you just look like you would just sit down and just dump like how difficult that job was. Like it was. Yeah. It seemed like it was like.
But always making sure he was very thankful and said everyone was very wonderful. Jeff, it's like Israel over there.
By design. By design. You know,
but like also like our friend like Andy Samberg like every time I saw him he seemed to have aged about 10 years.
Oh, it's like the presidency in that way. Yeah, it's like until you sort of like develop like a niche. I think, or I would like with this guy to my left, like such an original sort of voice that Lauren's like, oh, this is a variety show. I need to have what Will does on there, or like the Lonely Island guys. I need to have the Lonely Island generation. Like Kristen. I need to have a Kristen track on this Greatest Hits.
Right.
You know?
I talked to somebody about how Laura's always been. That's always been his real secret underneath it all. I think because it was back when Channel 101 was starting to be a thing, and the Lonely Island guys were doing Channel 101, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, they're taking that different path, that Schiller real Mr. Bill path to SNL, which is somebody was talking to me about it. And they said, oh no, but Lauren's a genius, like about that in particular. That he always recognized that the potential obsolescence of what he was doing there, and how any one of these random asteroids or geniuses he had this way of like he would beckon you in and say, look, I know what you want and I know what you deserve, and I'm going to set you up so that you can have it. So the Lonely Island were getting their card that said it's an SNL digital short, like that's their property. He knew that about Smigel. He understood that that you can't create an army of generals. You have to like give them you have to let them have the illusion that they have their own world.
No, it's true. I would say that he is good at that. You have to earn that though.
How far into Will and Jason, like how far along when you were a cast member was it when you found like, okay, this is my niche, this is my thing? Like did that take a while, or because I remember like at one point you guys were just my favorite. Like that cast was really good, and you two together especially. Because I went to one of the tapings. And you guys doing that, your mustached ESPN 3 kind of characters was fucking hilarious. But like, did it take a while to find your stride and find like when you go, okay, this is my shit. Like, this is what I do.
It depends for everybody, because I would always kind of do weirder stuff, and it's hard to get that stuff on. So you have to kind of build up this trust, and I was.
It would kill on Wednesdays. P.S. Like the read through, it was like every time like you see, because at the top of every script it's the writers' names. So like you'd see like Faye and Polar, or like if it said Forte, you were just kind of like. Even if you'd been there 5 hours, you're like, all right, here we go. It's the truth. It's the truth. And especially when you were writing with Slovin and Allen, like there was this ironing, sharpening iron thing that was brewing there. That I don't think really kicked in, to Jeff's question, like until maybe our group came in, because I felt like just watching it from the outside, your stuff started to get that play like after you stopped playing Bush, really.
Oh, for sure. I was it was an honor to play Bush, but it was an honor I did not want. It was,
and then I ended up playing it.
Will Ferrell had just done it.
Like, what are we doing?
It was to me, it's like Dana Carvey doing the church lady, like Bush. Will Ferrell had turned Bush into a character that was so
flat out won him the election. Won him the election. Ruined our country for 8 years by his talent, his charm.
You can't have Dana Carvey would not leave and then somebody else come in and do the church lady. Right. So, but you have to do the president. Right. So I somehow became that guy, and I was shitty at it.
That's not true. At the beginning, when he was all whiny, like you were great at it because you were like, oh man, and he was like.
It certainly was not. It was not the kind of stuff I like to do, and It was a fun adventure, but like the cast was so big at the time that like a lot of times I would be putting out the kind of stuff that I liked, right. but you got to service everybody, so I would
get
these
sketch,
Bush things
minutes.
that were in there that it weren't necessarily my thing, and that would be the thing for that episode. So, like, for a couple of years, I was just kind of the Bush guy and didn't really get to do.
But there was also this. I don't remember who told me about this, but then I started looking for it. That in those years there was closer to midnight. It was like, okay, these. Like I always tried to figure out the formula with the last sketch on SNL. It was like sometimes it was clearly just the shittiest. Sometimes it was one that like I have no idea. You guys could tell me, and maybe for political reasons you wouldn't even be able to, or it would take too long, or there's no formula. But then somebody told me like watch the. But sometimes it's like these like weird pieces of esoteric brilliance. These like just good quality sketches that were and it was Forte's name that was like attached to that we go like, oh, there's you got to watch till midnight because there might be a Forte sketch coming because they're putting them there not because they don't believe in them but because like the spelling
like a
sketch.
hidden like a hidden track.
Wasn't that
was what I was going to say was the episode where I felt like it all kicked in. That was Jack Black hosting the Christmas episode of what happened to be, oddly enough, my generation's first season. I was lucky to be there 2 years.
I was there.
You were there.
Yeah.
So you had Jack Black kicking ass his second time hosting, singing an amazing King Kong opener. Then you have there was with Wig and I, the first two A-holes buying a Christmas tree. You had Christmas Time for the Jews, a short amazing short film parody by Smigel. You had Spelling Bee with Forte, and then most importantly, I would say most iconically, Lazy Sunday.
Yeah.
By Lonely Island.
That was
and
all
that was
one
just
night,
like
really?
That was all one episode?
It gives me goosebumps.
or was that
Think
one
about it.
season?
Yeah.
One episode. That was
Really?
Christmas episode of 2000.
So that must be why I was watching it because like my friends were like oh my god, they had just gone up. I was at the party where they had Bill Hader was also alongside them, was like being sent up in a balloon to New York.
Absolutely,
like goodbye guys.
Sure, yeah.
And so I must have been watching that night going, oh, this is the first, or
then
maybe it was
with
just
Jack,
because of the
maybe.
Lazy Sunday thing because they had done stuff before that and Lazy Sunday was kind of their whatever.
Yeah.
But the spelling bee thing I just want to talk about for a second. The spelling bee sketch, I'm sure if you just type it into YouTube, who knows, or something, you just find it. It's simply judges at a spelling bee saying, all right, your next word is, what's the next word?
Business.
And then the entire sketch from front to back is Will Forte incorrectly spelling business. And that's it. That's the whole sketch. He doesn't finish like, and then they go, oh, that's not quite right. Why don't you try a simpler word like cat? And then he does it 3 times, and then in the end he spells a really complicated word really well, and then you're done. The entire sketch is him failing to spell the word business, and it's not a short sketch. It's Conehead size. It's a proper size, a Hungry Man Jack sketch size, but the whole meal is him. It's just different letters.
Q. How many times did you say Q?
Would you do numbers at one point, like adding numbers into it?
That was a hard one to get on because it was. I had done it at the Groundlings a bunch of times, but
killing it at the Groundlings.
Always would go very well at the Groundlings, but
You did it at SNL. It wouldn't get picked. You would do it at like Smigel would have you do Night of Too Many Stars. You'd play like Radio City Music Hall and do it. It would crush. And then they would put it at the table or wherever you guys were doing those, where he would ask you to do it at a benefit. It would crush, and he'd bring it back to like 17th floor, like 50 people watching. Everybody's just like, it's killing, but everybody's like, it's never going to get on, and it wasn't.
Well, I got to hand it, like Jack Black was the one who really pushed it forward because he is great and he's such a champion of comedy and just really like if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't have gotten on. So
what's that
Same
like
with A-holes.
when you write when you wrote a really weird sketch that was kind of esoteric and strange, and you go into that read through where everybody's you got the piles of paper, there's all the scripts that are just you're reading through everything. Do you have to get up and really perform that, like at the table? Like you really have to sell that to the room, right?
Oh yeah, I mean most of the time you're just sitting down. Every once in a while, if there's something with a little more action, you might stand up and do some of the stuff. But you do it pretty full out.
Here's something that maybe no one thinks that what does the writer's room look like when you're at SNL and it's at the
It's like an office. It's just like a conference room like a vibe. It's almost
so
like
a
the
big
Commons.
table, everyone's sitting around it.
Big
but then
table.
Is on the outer wall. Is everybody?
Yeah, sitting around the table is all the cast, and depending on how many there are, like right now, there's probably not much elbow room. It got to a point when we were there that there was like a nice amount of room.
So the cast is around the table, and then there's
at the head of the table is Lorne and the host, and then cast. Then around this side, like if you were looking down at 3 o'clock, is like Seth and one of the assistant directors, Janine, who times every sketch. One of the producers, Steve Higgins. Somebody else. But then around the sides are like the department heads. All the writers are like at 9 o'clock behind here, like 4 rows deep. People are sometimes sleeping because they've been up since.
Okay,
10
so
a.m.
this is a room where there's a table at the. You're describing this is a table read.
Table read. Yes.
What does what about just the room in which people are pitching sketches and
it mostly happens in offices.
Yeah,
it's
it's like
just
a normal
disparate?
office building with just a more open fart policy.
It looks like 30 Rock. I mean, it looks like like the TV show. I mean,
but when you're a writer and you,
Yeah.
so are you sitting like when you think, are you sitting cross-legged on a carpeted floor with a sheaf of papers in front of you with notes scribbled on them,
Yeah.
waiting your turn to pitch something?
Yes, on Mondays with the host. There's the host meeting, the pitch meeting. Everybody lines up, and we all sit in Lauren's office. Some people on chairs, like humans. Other people on the
Jason,
ground.
have you told it too many times on too many shows? But your Snoop Dogg story would that be a pain to retell? Because I retell your Snoop Dogg story when you were a writer.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, the no, I mean, I don't mind telling it. It's a good life philosophy.
It really is.
But yeah, we were on Tuesday nights. The host goes around, whoever it is, and they meet with the different writers. And it was actually, I think it was your office at the time. You were rooming with Tellerico, Rich Tellerico at that point. Yeah. And it was me and Rich Tellerico, and I think you might have maybe been in there. If not, pitching ideas to Snoop. I just love Rich's ideas so much that I always feel obligated to put him in here. He's tell Snoop just sitting there like this, and he's like, I have this idea where you play a dad, but you know that scene like at the dinner table when the kid mouth is off and he takes off the belt? You don't take off your belt. Your job is, you make a living as a beekeeper, so you slowly start to put on your beekeeper outfit to intimidate your kids. And I swear to God, Snoop's like, yeah, I like that. Yeah. I want this guy to be real scientifical about the bees. You know what I mean? Like I want him to know what's going on inside of a bee's mind. Like, literally, he's saying that. Other things, blah blah blah. We're playing music. Rich he's got these speakers in there, and he's blaring like Snoop Dogg hits, and he's like, "Yeah, see, I put a cover on every album because you got to look backward before you look forward." Like he would just talk like this. He would just say, "Yeah, man." Like Urban Outfitters, I was always said you just follow him around with a pad and pen and be like, we're making pillows, T-shirts. This is like this fucking guy, unbelievable. And then at the end, Rich, and I was just observing this. Rich is really the point guard of this entire narrative. But Rich goes, Snoop, after the party on Saturday, we gotta kick it. And Snoop says, swear to God, for shizzle. He says because this is at the height, for shizzle. And he goes, and Rich, for whatever reason, goes, maybe we'll get a hoe. and Snoop just goes, why get only one hoe? Right? That he could have stopped there. He could have stopped there and let me draw my own conclusion. Then it's all sort of be like, what does he mean by that? But he don't. He goes on. He goes, don't put limits on your life. Again, you're kind of like, that's it. He can get up and leave now.
Yeah.
The Urban Outfitters person could close their moleskin and be like, okay, we got next week's shirt, we're good. He goes, why get only one hoe? Why not get 2 or 3? I'm sorry, don't put limits on your life. And then he says, dream big, and you may never wake up. Like that's, I don't know if he said it since. I don't know if he remembers saying it.
Did you run and write it down? Because
no, I've just told it so many, like a good joke. I've just told it so many times, like because
I remember you telling me that, and we're like, "That's your Leno story." I think you told it on Leno.
I told it on Conan, the first talk show I did.
You're like, "Oh, I have my Conan story."
Yeah. He's giving me this. Like I got this,
So what is this a sacrilegious question? You guys are writer. Does God exist? And would he like Jewish people?
gotta assume so.
It's I made the Israel comment earlier. Now I have to counterbalance that. I got to remember some anti-Christian shit.
It's out there.
That war is still happening, right? Jews versus Christians.
Yeah.
I don't want to get mixed up in that. You guys are both writers. You're both performers. Forte, you were in the...
I love this question.
Yeah, right?
You were in the...
Wait till he gets to the end of it. It's awesome.
You helped him write this one.
Yeah. Been working all day on this question.
We have a mutual friend, Jim Rash. You were in Groundlings with him, right? That was your class.
Yes.
Like he's a writer, director. He's an Oscar-winning writer and director. I think he is directing and the actor, writer and actor. Writer actors are better actors than regular actors, and don't comment on that because I'm sure you have actor friends. But what I wanted to ask is like, what are you more?
I don't know.
The question is, what are you more?
Do you think of yourself when you're standing on set as an actor, like, okay, I'm doing this acting job, but I'm a writer, or is it the other way around?
Well, I started off as a writer, so I think I'll always think of myself as more of a writer. At the end of my third year...
You wrote before you did Groundlings?
I did go through your...
I wasn't writing professionally.
We could go through your past for a second here because it's kind of interesting. I bothered to Wikipedia you
it's crazy.
when I heard you might be coming by, and the most notable thing first is your name is your given name is Orville Wilbert.
Orville Willis.
Orville Willis
Forte the
Fourth.
Yes.
I've never met a fourth before.
I know it's it's.
Are you
it's
making fun of his name?
No, I'm making fun of
He's
America.
glorifying
We've
it.
never had a fourth generation of anything here. Everything around you is 20 years old architecturally. That's made of rock. Like, this is a flesh thing made of four strings of dude. That's European, man. That's heavy shit.
We got our episode title.
We have a titular moment. We have had our moment.
I will say there was when I first I wrote on sitcoms for a while. I wrote at Letterman, wrote at Third Rock from the Sun, 70s Show, then got the SNL job, and I definitely had more of a writer's mentality because I'd go in and when I would act my own stuff, I would stuff that I had written, I would feel very confident in it. I'd know exactly what to do, and I would get into my head with because I remember if I would write stuff and sitting back there as other people would do it and just going,
okay,
do it the way I wanted it, and it'd be very and so in my head as I was doing other people's things, I would just be thinking about how upset they were about the choices I was making. So at the end of the third season at SNL. Over the summer, there was this really the cast was very big. Lauren was thinking about making changes, and there's a date in July when you're supposed to be told whether your option is picked up, and they had
Independence Day.
Yeah. No. And they held off on picking up my option and it took an extension and for like 6 weeks I had to wait and the final conversation I had with him was he said, you are thinking too much like a writer. You need to own it a little more. And of course, I'm like, oh fuck, this old man. He has no idea. and
I love this character.
But I come back and the more I thought about it, he was absolutely right. I was just like I would be too nervous about performing in other people's things. And so once he just he gave me the best advice of all time, which was just to go in there and make the characters your own in other people's things, and
we'll just let her rip.
Yeah, exactly. And thank God he let me come back, and that really was like, knowing that I had almost been fired, it all felt like gravy, and then it was just like, okay, fuck it.
He's like, look, if these writers knew better than actors, they'd be actors. Like they're so smart, but they can't act. Like you come in, take their stuff, and take it to the end zone. Where and your experience had been as a writer.
I would sometimes get their stuff down to like the 25.
But Suds, you're probably a little more complicated, right? Because you're not quite as. I mean, he was a writer forever, and you're you were an improviser, which is half and half already. You're like a golden doodle,
right?
But you're
also, we call Jason Suds.
Yeah, P.S. Yeah, right.
But your passion was for performing originally.
Yeah.
I mean, and then they're saying to you, well, yeah, but you're a writer, right? And they're putting you in the writers' room. So when you're in front of a camera or on a pink and seafoam poster with 3 starlets and then your face,
part of my face. They added some stuff to my face,
when
eyebrows. But I know what you mean.
When you're studding it up in front of the unblinking eye,
over the shoulder.
Your beard in the Mother's Day poster is really great.
Yeah,
it's really
it's like Drake density. It's like it's a healthy. My eyebrows, like when I look at it, I go, I wish.
I told you.
Who knows where I'd be if I looked like that.
It's like a little kid's hobo costume. There's stippling involved.
I texted Jason like a picture of that poster. I said, please, I don't know what this movie's about, but please tell me that you're a high-priced male hustler.
Yeah.
And your eyebrows have their own beards. Like that's... You're made of beards in that. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. When I saw it, I was just like, yeah, I mean, it was, whatever.
That's so great.
So are you an actor that that has used your extra ability to write to
I think so. I would say so. I do. I mean, there's such for me, like with acting, like not that anybody cares, but like since you're sort of asking about it, like of like the left brain, right brain. Like I think I'm envious of actors that can really just like be in it. I feel like I can get there but my left brain's always working. The part of you that has to hit a mark, the part of you that has to like know where the light is and all that kind of stuff, especially like tracking shots, all that stuff I can handle really well. And I think that comes from like playing basketball as a kid, like running plays and stuff. Like it's like
so sports come back around to haunt me.
But I think it could have happened with like any sort of group mentality. I just didn't have like the group of kids that in my neighborhood they played sports. They didn't put on plays. You know what I mean? Right. And I don't mean that as a smart ass because I know there are neighborhoods like that, and I was lucky to meet those kind of kids in high school. But like, so I'm like always cognizant of like what is needed to happen to make it like at least not have to cut because of some physical malfunction.
That brings up an interesting question for Tate. When you're writing for yourself, and that means to a powerful degree you're blocking yourself. Like a director could come in and say, "No, I think you should be in the doorway." Sorry, I burped. It's gross. I think you should be in the doorway, and then you should do a somersault. And sometimes directors have great ideas, and sometimes they're just directors. But you first and foremost, if you're writing a scene.
It's how you respond to that sentence that says more about anything. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it was very visual, whatever's going on down there. But it doesn't tell a story at the end of the day.
In Rob's mind,
we need both.
Rob is drawing a storyboard of him killing you right now.
No, but
doing a bird's eye of taking a shit on his car.
Do you? Oh God, I wish directors
doing a
did bird's
shot
eyes.
list of peeing in your drink.
You said you have a specific brain. I mean, you're you're this guy that's going like you're kind of like I want this joke to land, et cetera, et cetera. I won't repeat the process that you took us through. But then you're on a laptop, so you're writing that a character that's going to be played by you, and you. I guess the small part of my question is like, do you do things like mitigate your blocking in the scene? Do you go like, look, I don't want to do a bunch of complicated shit in this scene because I'm going to start. I'm only going to be funny if I'm able to sit still and like remember my lines, or are you like, no, I need to occupy myself? Anything like that? Like, do you knowing yourself as a performer when you're writing, do you write specific things for yourself?
Certainly, you will write to your strengths, but every once in a while there will be things that bring you outside your comfort zone. If you get together with the writers and they all think it's a great idea, and you think, all right, let's fucking go for it. It really is. But for the most part, you'll know the stuff you're good at and not very good at, and you kind of stick with the stuff you're good at.
I think all that stuff literally comes down to like trust of like literally like where I'm going to be I'll be asked to do this. Like me staying in my head, I don't think is necessarily healthy. Like all the time, even though I feel connected more as a actor than a writer, the part of me that doesn't let me get out of my head is probably not giving the person directing me the majority of the time enough trust to just be out of my own head, to maybe have an assessment of it. But I don't in the middle of a scene. It's only like when looking at the sides or thinking about it. If they suggest something, I'll be like, oh no. So I think like with stuff, you would have stuff in your head in scenes that we would do, and then we would sort of talk about stuff, and maybe it would feel. You're always very accommodating. It's not like you're rigid and like I wrote it this way, so it has to be this way.
Oh yeah, and if there's ever a director that wants to try something that's different than what I was thinking, it's always somebody like Jason Wallner who knows his shit, and John Solomon, our best buddy, and these wonderful people who are super smart and
you throw a bone to Rob Schraub for just for
get him in there next year.
Schraub, I'm sure is great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've had what you've had, which is like you write something, you hear it a certain way in your head, and it would be great if they did it exactly that way. Sometimes it's right in the bubble where you're trying to figure out, do I just want to hear this the way it was in my head? Am I objectively hearing it like so I can decide actually, oh, that's funny.
No.
Then there's the getting past that. There's the someone please help me with this. And if a director can think of a better blocking, and sometimes like Heath Cullen's on Great Minds will like I'll have a very basic thing in my head, and then he'll go, yeah, but what if the person was sitting behind the doorway and then you entered, so then we could all get it in one shot. Like all these different shaped brains and they all overlap, and I'm sure Rob's great at something.
I told you he wouldn't have fun.
I just remembered something that so we finished.
I think I need a table next time I'm on the show.
Oh yeah, what are you gonna do with that table?
Nothing, I guess.
Maybe you could use it to distant or fuck. Maybe you can use it to stutter and emotionally distance yourself from the people on stage.
It is so weird. We bring Spencer out first, and he sits in the corner, and we never talk to him.
Yeah.
I mean,
and now you're bringing me out.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was like,
hey, fill the stage full of people who don't talk.
No,
it's our fault. You guys were all kicking in before we got out here.
It's all good. I just don't know anything about comedy or directing or those things you guys are talking about.
Right.
But that's
otherwise, you could be sure I'd be in there with barbs and jabs and bits.
Why don't we talk about barbs?
Oh, man.
You want to talk about barbs for a second?
Can we do a little Barb corner?
Yeah, Barb Thomas. Jesus Christ.
Adrian Barbeau.
There we go.
Hey,
Barb's
Jason.
in there. Barb is in there.
Jason, you brought up basketball earlier. You and I.
Yeah.
No.
This is.
No. This is more about comedy than about sports. Jason grew up in Kansas.
Correct.
And you used to play with some dudes from the Jayhawks, right? Like from the team? Like,
sure. Yeah. I mean,
and Jason Sudeikis, this dude can play basketball. He's really good.
Well, not compared to those guys.
But you can
But compared to everybody probably here, I would say
I can get rebounds.
But also, like, you love your high top basketball shoes.
I do love
to the extent that we went to your house. You got a room. You got a whole walk-in closet that's just for your high top basketball shoes, which is.
There's low tops too. With that much room, you got to have low tops too.
Do you have any medium tops?
3/4 tops? Yeah, I'm wearing some.
Damn, those tops are 3/4. You are kidding. Look at those tops.
Yeah,
go all the way up.
So Jason and I.
And they don't go all the way down either. They're kind of like split the difference tops.
They can't make a choice.
Those tops split the difference between the high and the low. Those are some Wednesday tops. 50% of the tops.
So Jason and I went to go play basketball. And we went to
justifying.
We went to a basketball
Turned into
court.
Bill Cosby at the end.
Those are some Wednesday tops. Those tops are completely. Those tops are. I'm telling you, Camille, those tops are halfway up the ankle. That's not funny anymore.
No, it's not.
No,
It is.
It is actually. It is.
It really is.
It's getting funnier.
The fact that we're not talking about why it isn't funny
Yeah,
is
yeah.
making it really funny. And you went with Camille. It's really funny.
So Jason and I go play a pickup game in West Hollywood, on San Vicente, and I played there before, and it's a pretty intense pickup basketball game. And some of the guys there talk a lot of trash. It's a lot of big mouths, and it's usually the guys that aren't that good that are talking the most trash.
Oh,
and
isn't that just the truth?
Isn't that? So I missed my free throw. You got to make a free throw to get in the game. I missed my free throw. Jason gets on a team, so I'm just chilling. And Jason, I think you matched up against one of the biggest loudmouths on the opposing team.
I usually do.
And Jason had the funniest shit talk of all time. He kept scoring on this dude, and every time he'd come down the court, he would say, "Do you know that they call me the electrician?" He would have a new occupation. So he'd be dribbling the ball, and the guy hated him so much. He's like, "They call me the electrician." And he'd shoot it. He goes, "Because I'm putting the lights out."
It was.
What were the other ones?
I'm sure the waiter.
What was the waiter?
Dropping. No. The waiter was serving up funky dishes.
There was the plumber.
The clumsy cashier was dropping dimes. Stuff like that.
I like that you can be so good at basketball that you become bad at another job.
Yeah.
They call me the terrible mailman because I'm not bringing anything to you.
Get out of my diner! Go play basketball! I said get!
But I remember the other team.
I'm such a terrible janitor at this diner. I should be mayor.
Yeah. A lot of people don't sniff that out, right? Yeah. What book did he read that made him think he could be Mayor of Hill Valley?
But there was a point when you were pissing off that guy that even his own teammates were laughing at him because you kept clowning him, and it was the greatest.
I just remembered one thing from the mushroom adventure. After my hand was laid on the surface of the water, and I communed with all life. Cody was back in the bungalow, rolling around on the bed because it was soft, and then I went, and we made the mistake of trying all kinds of things, and then, but you don't need to know about that or picture it.
I kind of want to know.
I want to know everything about.
I want to know a little bit about that.
But there was a point I wrote down the quote. Kind of just both individually kind of rolling around because for me the ceiling was like a pool and there was I might fall in it if I close my eyes, and then Cody said, "I want a baby, or maybe I just want a soft bathrobe."
And she should have the right to make that choice.
That's
That is right. That is a woman's decision.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
It's one of the two, though, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's iconic.
Jason, can we talk about this? The first time that I ever did it. Are you okay talking
The
about
mushrooms?
it? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean, like sponsors and stuff?
Yeah.
Like my AA sponsors?
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm fine with it.
The first time I ever did mushrooms was what was your friend's name?
Mike Lucas.
And the three of us, we did it, and we went to your apartment. And it was. Am I correct
Yeah.
in saying that it was right on the intersection where Tupac was murdered? Right.
Yeah, Flamingo and Koval. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd cleaned it up since then, but yeah, it was. Yeah, that's where it was.
So.
The Meridian
There
was
a little,
the name of the.
There was a little ritual that you guys put me through at the beginning. We chopped up the stems and the caps, and there was some little vehicle, like a little choo-choo train or a little.
That was all improvised. Like that was Mike being stoned before, I think, on mushrooms, and just a very creative guy.
There was a little wheelbarrow or choo-choo.
We
train.
created a little altar kind of thing, ceremonial
and you had to
altar.
make a wish, and you had to push the choo-choo train with the mushrooms in it.
I
And if
remember
it
that.
fell over, that was good luck or bad luck.
Oh yeah, that all makes sense. Why do we even need these drugs? What are we doing? We're fine. So we're fine. Do zip zap zop and hit the town.
Exactly. So three.
Yeah, when you're that desperate to have a good time together, you probably will.
That's all you need. Axe body spray. It's like, you know.
So for some reason, we do something really non-intuitive. We all go to the Hard Rock Casino, which is just a bunch of assholes.
Oh my God,
But we stood there in the Circle Bar in the middle of the casino, and I remember the three of us.
Why is it called the Circle Bar?
It's a great question.
It's a good question. Fair question.
Yep.
Because it was named after Jonathan Circle,
who discovered it while chasing a bear.
It's a circular bar in the middle of the casino, which is also circularly shaped.
Didn't we end up calling it like the Shark's Nest or something? We had some weird name for it.
Yeah, because I had this we stood there like a little triangle facing each other.
At the Circle Bar.
Yeah, right. Like three
Something's
squares.
wrong with this picture.
But people kept coming up to us.
Why are you at the Circle Bar if you're in a triangle position?
Do it as Bill Cosby.
Why are you in the... I can't do it.
All right.
So,
excuse me. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. Fine.
People were like we were just laughing so hard and finishing each other's sentences. And there were moments when we weren't talking at all, and we were just like making eye contact and laughing. And I would say, like, "What did you think I just said?"
Yeah.
And you would say exactly what I thought.
We were all. It was a good hive mind going on for sure.
So this guy came up and he had like a bad kind of a shiny shirt he bought at a Vegas store, and he kind of looked like he was having a bad night. And he was like one of the few people that came up to us and said, "Hey, is it okay if I hang out with you guys?" And we're like, why? Because you guys are having so much fun. We're like, absolutely. You can hang out. So he laughed and laughed and laughed. And then we stood by the
near the bathrooms.
Were the trombones in the air?
Yeah, saxophones. There's like a chandelier made of saxophones.
And there's a dome, and so you can hear the sounds from across the other side.
Oh yeah, so if someone's walking that way, their voice hits the dome, and it sounds like they're behind you. You maybe have seen like that, like a rotunda kind of.
And we're laughing and laughing.
And you were going nuts at this point, you know, like
it was 6 hours of just like hysteria.
The thing I was talking about today, because when it came up when I knew what you guys did yesterday, I was at this barbecue and drugs came up. Not that we had any, we didn't. But I talked about the mushrooms, and the thing I talked about was that I remember really well. People walking to the bathroom and then them walking out and being able to tell so clearly by like their aura, their whole vibe that they went and did cocaine. Like I swear to God, it was like oh look at she's pretty cute. Oh wow, there you. Jesus, what did she do? and nothing visual. It was just like this, like a ramped up energy that you're like, what was going on? And I'm like such a bumpkin when it came to that stuff.
Then we just had like people that just wanted to be with us and hang out.
Yeah, we
were just so happy.
Yeah, we were all like three Jimmy Stewarts. We were just like, hey, how you doing? Like anybody that came down, and then you are tall as shit. Mike was tall as shit and bald, like shaved head, and then I was just in the middle there, point guard, and I was like, we were just
serving up funky dishes,
serving up the high dishes up top. Yeah.
So I had at this time I had been to the Hard Rock probably 4 or 5 times in my life before that.
Yeah.
And so the next time I go there is about a year later, and I walk into the Circle Bar. I'm like, oh, this is the place, and I walk up to the bartender and I said. Because there's these wooden staircases that go up into the Circle Bar, and it was stationary. I'm like, when did this stop being a rotating bar? And the guy's like, what? I go, this used to be like a rotating bar. And he goes, no. I go,
lawsuit.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I remember because the lights would make you feel like you're like.
And then, there'd be a guy that was standing perfectly still, but in my mind he was going in a circle. He was orbiting like a planet, and then he would reappear over there. I'm like, this man, these people just keep spinning around us. It was so great.
My favorite time, you weren't there, but and I hope he doesn't mind me saying it, but I just think it's one of the funniest things I remember ever seeing. And I know the mushrooms help, but I think you'd be able to, if you've been to Vegas, you could picture this. Dan Backadall, who also did Second City with me in Vegas, a bunch of us got together. I think Jeremy might have been there. We were out in front of the Bellagio with those dancing, they call them the dancing fountains and everything. And we're all deciding, mushrooms basically is like, especially at Vegas, is like you go to a pack. You stand in a circle, you laugh at all the fucking crazy shit going on, around you, above you, behind you, walking by you, and then you walk for 4 feet to say, okay, let's go somewhere. You get there, and then you're like, then it happens again. You know what I mean? Like that's how we got there.
We had 2 locations,
Yeah.
the bar and
Yeah.
then the saxophone. And we kept going back and forth to them.
We were inside the Bellagio, and it was like fucking Marx Brothers.
But
like,
you also adopt, if you're on mushrooms, you also adopt different. It's like, it's not just let's go back to the circle bar. It's like let's go to the cookie tree, or was it,
that's what it was. The Shark's Nest. It was something
the
else.
Shark Tank or whatever.
Everything becomes its own inside joke. It's like you're going around the Monopoly board like multiple times and renaming stuff. And there's like a group of 6 of us and 5 of us over here, and then all of a sudden we just turn around and back it all is just watching the fountains, and we could slowly start to figure out that he's pretending like he's their choreographer. And we're all like, and he's doing it for us, but I think he really was doing it. Like, it was so brilliant. And he did it for like the rest of like whatever fucking not Selena Gomez, what's her name, Celine Dion song at that point. This was the 70s.
But my heart will go on, probably.
It probably was, yeah, some
they still play
Pavarotti
that
song.
one, yeah.
It was so fun. That town's a mess. It needs it.
What do you guys think about people who are concerned about people doing drugs who don't? Because I feel like there are some of them who are concerned about people, and that's why they're concerned about people doing drugs. And then I feel like there's the 85% of them that are getting high off of other people's drug use. And are really happy to be concerned about something,
Like the sanctimony of it.
yeah. Like whether they're, some of those people are recovered, and then you kind of go, okay, well, so you fought a demon and you're happy about it, and now you want that to be your thing. Right. But then still, some people, I think there's just a little slice of genuinely evil people who have never done it, will never need to do it, have never done anything, have never cared about anyone, and are kind of like feeling the unconscious suspicion that maybe they're sociopaths or that they'll never have a connection to anybody, and that they've found this loophole in society where there's like this thing where it's like, oh, I'm so concerned about that person, and it's like they found like this little shortcut between like this little wormhole that society offers where you can simultaneously be a good person but be the most villainous piece of shit in the world that doesn't care about anyone, has never done anything nice for anybody, is just filled with emotional toxicity and passive aggression, and just siphons the life force off of everyone around you. And that I think
a good sativa would help that. Just like a little boop, just a little boop, not a boop. They'd be going. Boop.
Yeah, and I think they know that, and I think that they feel that would be annihilation because it would be eliminating the part of them that is more them than the rest of them. And I think that they don't like being surrounded with any reminders that maybe you should just relax and not have that much of an opinion about anybody else. Yeah. And they kind of enjoy the fact that statistically speaking, sooner or later, people who are okay with drugs, statistically speaking, every once in a while, one of them dies or has a problem or gets sick. And I think they kind of fucking love that. I think they really love that. I think they love that as much as we, just Western society loves the fact that every once in a while a suicide vest goes off prematurely.
Right.
Like we think, we were like stoked to hear about that. And I think there are people who show up at memorials for writers that overdosed, and they're like, they're there for the same reason I am on the surface, but underneath it, they're like, this is fucking cool. I knew I was right.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
And some of those people run shows, and some of those people spread their cult to everyone underneath them, and fuck you.
Do they know who they are?
No.
Let's keep it that way.
Tell me. You can just address me directly, Dan.
Come on, man.
No, the entire time you were saying that, I was thinking about the father from the guy from Footloose. Who just, if he just danced, if he just tried to dance once.
Yeah. And he did once at his wedding or something, you know.
Yeah.
And,
I never saw Footloose. So,
I did, but
you get it. But you get it. Yeah. How have you never seen Footloose?
I don't know.
You know the song, though, right?
I haven't seen, what's the Not Goonies. What's the other? I've seen Goonies. What's the other one that's
Star Trek.
the other one?
King Kong.
No, I haven't seen Goonies. I saw Gremlins, but I haven't seen Goonies.
But Will, this is really weird to me because I was in your Wikipedia page. It said that recently
You've seen Goonies.
Recently,
Yeah.
It says in your Wikipedia page.
I
that
like
you've
to
seen
get it out there
Goonies.
that I've seen Goonies, but it's like a.
You got to update that.
that recently you were in a radio play performance of you're doing something on Broadway now. It's like a radio play that's it's an adaptation of Footloose, isn't it? And you were
a loose.
like it's
loose Footloose?
Looser.
It's tied foot tighter. Foot tighter
because
but still loose.
And the subtitle is a loose interpretation of the Footloose.
Yes.
Is that a working title or is that a done deal? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Is it all right
it's
if
a done deal.
we do a scene from that?
Yeah. Sure.
You play the Kevin Bacon role, Thaddeus Foot.
Yes.
And well, let's you guys are off book, right?
Yeah, but it's only because I've seen it a bunch.
Right. Schraub, you know the performance we're
I'm not
talking about.
studied in it.
I might pass out.
Yeah.
I don't feel really good right now.
What's wrong?
No, we're starting the show right now.
Oh,
Shit, this is...
Maybe you just need to dance.
oh, this, by the way, this is they do this amazing thing in the show where, like, if you're sitting in the audience, this is happening 2 seats down from you. This is like a thing that happens.
I will never, mark my words, I will never, ever, ever dance. Period.
That's the end. That's the end.
Yeah.
Is it that quick?
That's the end of the show?
We did not get good reviews.
Yeah.
That is true. I can attest to that.
Wait, so the show starts with 2 people in the audience doing that, and that's the end of the show?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Easy to
didn't
say
have-
now.
It
Sounds stupid when you say it.
I will say the production budget is so inexpensive that it actually kind of makes money.
Yeah, it's the Always Sunny in Philadelphia of Broadway shows. It's like it's the most profitable Broadway show in America
Like,
on
we don't
Broadway.
we don't even need a stage. It's a brilliantly conceived, but I don't know. I just have a hard time when people finally get to see something. All the work that went into that, and then for you just to chip away at it. You know, it's like you know what I mean. It's easy to do now.
I just feel like it had first, second, and third act problems.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree there. But still, you know.
Do you remember the Goonies show that you were in? That was a longer time
I
ago.
do remember. Never feed them after midnight. Do not get them wet. And a third thing.
No.
But it's probably been discussed, I'm sure, on this exact show. But when can they start feeding them again if it's after midnight?
Well, isn't that answered in this scene from the Goonies play that you guys did?
What Dan is trying to express to you guys, he wants to do some improv right now.
Oh, shit. That was it. Oh,
It's
shit.
too seamless. It goes right by me.
You're off duty. You're off duty.
That's what it is.
I mean, I'm not explicit about it.
Jason and Will, what you guys don't know is that Harmontown over the years, we're nearing this is our 199th episode?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow. So
Here we go.
Here we go, everybody.
199 episodes.
Christen it. We got to break it over the
Right in this bottle.
What the show, as much as the show used to be a kind of a haphazard, loose, rambling thing, I think we can say that we're one of the greatest long-form improv shows of all time. We do some of the most well-crafted, storytelling, character-driven, long-form improv.
What was the suggestion? Indulgence?
It was Indulgence and Goonies.
It was Goonies too. It's nice we finally got back to it.
Yeah.
People love that. Did the person that suggested still here? 2011?
I'd like to take this moment to thank Jane for bringing me special absinthe, by the way.
Ooh.
Do you guys want to try some of this? This shit gets you high.
Is it the real deal? Like,
it's
does
real deal.
Wormwood, like it gets
You
in the
see
brain?
the green
Yeah, no
fairy.
Jane, did you make this glass too?
I didn't. I commissioned it.
You commissioned the glass. Jane works at Corning Institute, right? Corning Glassworks.
She's the Tony Stark of glass blowing technology, and she said she has a gift for us.
He's got half of it.
Do you want to present? Do you want to present that gift now? It seems like a good time.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
These beautiful tumblers.
do
Fantastic.
you want to explain it? Explain it. It's a glass.
Display. It's glass. it's a sodium calcium silicate. No.
Can you be more specific?
28% calcium oxide. Okay, believe me, I can do it. Sorry.
At what temperature do those two elements bond together and form glass?
Fahrenheit or centigrade?
Let's go centigrade.
Oh gosh, no. Let's do Fahrenheit. Come on, I'm the guest.
I'm bi. I can do both.
Yeah, thank you. Give us both, but put them in whatever order you want.
2150 Fahrenheit.
2150.
That's when you get everything all melted in. You can gather it and work it.
2150.
About 1150 centigrade or Celsius, I should say.
Damn.
So you've got the double rocks. You've got the single rocks glass. These were designed. I designed them so based on. Perfect. That's what it's for. Well done, sir.
It works.
But so there's supposed to be sort of a mashup of a classic rocks glass with the Solo Cup, which is sort of one of the symbols of Harmontown.
That's awesome.
So in honor of the 200th episode for Jeff and Dan, he's got the Absinthe of Malice.
Take a big swing off that wheel, because we had a guest when we were in New York, Rory. What was Rory's last name, Dan?
Albanese?
Yeah, Albanese. And he lost his fucking mind.
He did.
He went completely bonkers.
Rory was drinking it like Welch's grape soda. Yeah, he was going at it.
At some point, I just took the bottle away from him. It's like no.
I want to taste it.
Dan's also got the Earthshine, the original that I brought in episode 78, 100 and how many episodes ago? Latest version. It's not 135 proof now. I've dropped it down to about 110, so you can actually drink it.
Oh.
But cheers.
Also, what I
This
love,
is just
Jane,
the olive oil. This is
No.
That's the Absinthe of Malice. So you take this, you infuse it with wormwood and about 15 or 20 other things, distill it again, add some more color to it, and so that's homemade absinthe. That's just homemade.
If you're listening at home
Good
right
stuff.
now, start a podcast. People just start making you booze. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's what I'm here
It's
for.
called The Secret.
I found my place. Right?
But these glasses are gorgeous. Thank you so much,
That's
Jane.
amazing.
Hey,
so
Jane,
great.
thank you. Jane says, I'm done with Sergio. Treats me like a rag doll. 90s. I was into Jane's Addiction and Phil Collins at the exact same time. I was a master of both worlds.
That's your duality. That's like your Batman Bruce Wayne.
All right. Well, I was trying to pimp us to do a little improv thing because you're both so talented, but didn't work out that way.
Oh, I fucked up. I didn't know
It's
that.
not you guys.
I didn't know you wanted more
It's
than
mostly
that.
Schraub who knows better. I mean, the only reason I started doing it is because Schraub started doing it. Like, I never wanted to do that in this show. And then Schraub would come on and he's delightful and he would like go into these dumb sketches.
You think I'm delightful, Dan? Here this whole time, I thought you didn't think about me like that. I thought you thought I was a fucking piece of shit.
Anyways, here's Will Forte's Goonies play. We're going to do a scene from it that's premiering next week on Broadway at 9.
Douglas.
Yeah?
Douglas, it's 7:58 a.m. and the Goonies very hungry.
What? Give him something to eat. There's a half a sandwich in the fridge. I gotta go to work.
How do we know what time is the appropriate safe time?
I guess we gotta pop in the movie.
There's no need to pop in the movie. I told you after midnight. I'm the one that gave you that movie. Claudius Johnson, Tyrell Blackman.
Thanks, Claudius.
But Claudius, hear me out here. Even if it's 11:58 p.m., It's 23 hours and 58 minutes after midnight.
He makes a good point, Claudius. I got to go to work.
Y'all thinking with that Asperger brain.
Claudius.
You got to feel the Goonie rules. Feel them in your heart, and your mind will follow. Magical black man trope away!
Douglas, something's happening to me inside. I'm feeling something.
He
The
owes
left
us
part of my
rent.
body, upper part, up by my chest.
What's wrong?
It's beneath my rib cage. Blood's pumping through it.
Your heart?
That must be it.
Oh, buddy, that's okay. Everyone's got a heart. Nothing you got to be worried about. I got to go to work. Oh, shit. I hope it's not work. Hello?
What the fuck? When are you getting to work here? These newspapers are piled up to the ceiling. Will you get over here? I can't even get out of my office. I can't get out of my office with all these newspapers piled up to the ceiling.
Extra, extra! Oh, where should I put this one?
Shut up, Tommy. I'm on the phone.
I'll just put it on top of this big pile.
Oh, now they're past the ceiling. Hey! What?
I really got to go.
Maybe if... Look, we really got to figure this out.
I'd love to.
Hang on. Star 69.
Hello?
Hi, yeah, Douglas is, he's
Be careful. It's my own
Who
source of
is
income.
this? I'm a busy man.
Oh, shit.
See? A lot easier, right? A lot easier than you'd think. And then you get in there and your whole mind goes nuts. He's intimidating, but he pays so well.
I know. By the way, friggin' Star 69 still works.
Which...
God.
Why do you think this is my only source of income? Because my prank phone call albums don't sell anymore. Because I can't make them.
Look, maybe we can kiss this away.
What? What are you talking about?
I touch you once, I touch you twice. Won't let
I can't
go
show up with work with all that
away.
lipstick on my face.
Need
People will think I'm a tramp.
like I need
Well, no, I hate
Don't
that.
show up to work. Show up to the wedding altar.
someday.
Are you trying to tell me that you're going to spend your father's fortune on our life?
I can't think of another thing that would be more worthy of that $750.
Well, then I think on the way to the chapel, we go kill that son of a bitch.
That's why I love you. Meanwhile,
And I will always love you. And I will always love you.
And the fountains are going like this. And the fountains are like that. And Dan Bacadol is doing the choreography. And the mushrooms are going boop, 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 boop. Is everybody on their phone? What's going on?
No, we were watching. We were enraptured.
That felt like a good edit point. I don't know.
Oh, meanwhile, in Buddy's heart, I represent anger.
I represent satisfaction.
And I'm John Lovitz. Buddy's not satisfied anymore. That's the ticket. Let's make him feel like dancing. Outside Buddy. Yeah, you were.
I'm Douglas, your buddy.
oh. You know, sometimes when I don't take my medication, I forget my name and such.
Yeah, that's why you got to take it every morning and night.
Buddy, it's your father. I overheard you talking about killing me and taking my fortune.
Sir, that was mostly me. I got to be honest. You're...
Oh, Douglas! I never thought you two were a good match. I just wanted to let you know one thing. There's a dance competition tonight.
Buddy, Douglas, Buddy's father, This is your father. Oh, shit. I overheard you talking to Buddy and Douglas about the dance contest.
Yes, Daddy. I thought you died decades ago.
Death is a figment. Time is man's enemy.
Oh, I gotta go to work.
You will go to work if you and I switch places.
Yeah.
Because I'm jealous of your youth. And you need to learn about acumen.
Okay, but I mean, so just like switch outfits? Like you want to go to work for me? That sounds awesome. I will
won't
tell you
work
this.
that way.
Dad?
Wait, yeah, hold on.
Dad, I overheard you talking about switching places with my son. You know, we have a goonie in the basement.
If you think...
Oh, fuck it. I'm just going to feed him.
Oh, no! No!
Oh, good God!
Lightning!
They're turning into machine guns!
Oh, no, machine gun!
What have you done? What have you done, Douglas? Buddy?
Oh, come on. Ow. Ow.
Don't you fools know that if you feed a goonie anytime after midnight, even if it's in the PM of the next day, that their nipples start to shoot laser beams?
But it's not the PM of the next day. It's 8:02 a.m.
Oh, shit!
Ow. 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 Oh, oh, ow. 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 Oh, my ass. Oh, my. Oh. Ow.
Buddy, what did you do?
Why did you feed me?
I fed him.
Oh. Sweeties, I'm a fat piece of shit now. I'm so fat.
No, now he's all body conscious.
Later at the dance contest. All right, everybody, it's the big dance contest. You know the rules. Best dancer wins. Everybody else dies.
Oh, shit, the rock and roll. What do I do? I broke both my legs earlier.
Dancing doesn't require legs. It requires a spirit.
Ow.
You're doing it, buddy. You're doing it.
Oh my God, Brenda, look at Buddy dancing with that goonie. They're amazing.
I'm a fat piece of shit. Ow. Ow.
I don't know how long I have to dance for. The rules were unspecified.
Don't worry about the rules.
Ow.
Just dance. Whatever happens, happens.
Douglas, how did you get out of the dancing competition?
Work.
I declare a winner.
Rock.
2 winners, to be exact. But as you know, the rules can only be 1 winner. Everyone else dies. It's a dance-off between the goonie and Buddy.
Who goes first?
Buddy.
Fuck.
It's okay, buddy. Just set the table. Just set the table, and there's nothing you can do once you set the table.
Douglas, that's a great idea.
Ching, ching, clink, clank, clink, clank, clank, clank. Literal table setting. Clank, 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 clank.
Forks go on the left side. You can remember that because it's 4 letters in fork and on left.
Clank, 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 clank.
Spoons go on the right. Knives go on the right. He's doing it perfect, and he's never eaten at a restaurant.
What is he doing?
He's setting the table.
Whatever he's doing it good.
Oh no, Claudius Blackman.
I'm out of here. I've been noted as a trope.
I set the table, Douglas. I set the fucking table.
I felt like I participated in some way.
You were there the whole time in my fucking heart.
All right, cats and kitties, you just saw Buddy set the table. Now it's time for the final course. We got the Goonie.
Eat shit and die.
I told you not to feed me.
Holy shit, he's eating from the table that got set by Buddy. I've never seen anything like it.
And I put shit on the plates. He's literally eating shit. I wonder if he'll die.
Sunlight CG. A crucifix logo. The Lamb of God. Ecclesiastes 1:17. And I saw a man on a horse, and his sword was justice. For he who shall not let him in the door shall need for nothing.
I am Tetsuo.
I think we have a winner, everybody. The winner is the Goonie.
Oh, man. I can't believe the Goonie.
That's right. That's right. The winner. Y'all thought I couldn't do it, and I did it. Where's the trophy? You're all fucking dead. Give it to me. Give me the trophy.
Here's your trophy, Goonie.
There's one thing you might want to think about.
Bruce Willis, what are you doing here?
Making trophies out of silver. Goonies hate silver.
Yeah, buddy. Make him deep throat the trophy. Yeah. Finish. I totally participated.
It's in the way that you use it. It comes and it goes. It's in the way that you use it.
Wow.
That's a good movie. And that was on Broadway. And that was one scene. And we were just reading it. That's great. I'm going to go see that.
The thrill of live theater.
No.
You know? What a rush. Man, oh man.
They say it's dead.
No one's more bummed out than Piven.
No freaking
to have
Tonys.
that taken away
Zero
from zero
Tony-
Tony nominations. Not a single person that votes for the Tonys came to see it. It slap in the face. It's a rigged system, the Tonys.
We did use a Tony song in it, so that was kind of, we did get 3 Tonys.
Feels good.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That was it.
What happened to Tony? They're still doing shit?
No, seriously. I don't know.
They fed
Well, you know how early silent movie stars were like the talkies came and they were, if they had speech impediments they didn't make the translation. Tony clearly not a search bar iTunes compatible band.
Yeah.
What spelling of Tony are you going to type in first?
Yeah.
You don't know. You're going to type in TON and hope it comes up in the fucking list.
What they should do is change
because you
it
get Tone
into
Loc.
3 different versions of Tony. If each Tony
like the
was a
ego,
different
super
version.
ego, and it. That's why they're
Right there.
Yeah. Isn't one of them Raphael Sadiq? The guy. I think one of those guys might be is going on to have a very nice
For real?
solo career. I think.
What happened to? Also, you got your Bell Biv DeVoes. What happened to the Bells and the Bivs?
Spending money, man. They made a lot of money. They're just spending it. Having fun.
Was top 40 music? I guess when it was top 40 music, it was like playing during the dances where I go to school. I'm like, I typically was all. It was all about sex. Like, I'm not saying. I mean, obviously, as the future continues, like the music, it gets more and more like
Obvious.
sexual.
Yeah, no.
But it seemed like back then it was like I'm remembering like when I was 16 to 18, it seemed like every song on the radio was just about like it was just like like all the like that song was like. If the rhythm feels good, to the baby, let me hear you. Baby. It was like an orgasm used as an instrument, and then that Poison song was like,
"Do me, baby."
Yeah, it was like everything was do me. And
that's what happens when bodies start slapping.
I'm doing
the wild thing.
I'm gonna sex you up. Girl, I'll make you feel my dear. Erect and gorged with all my blood. Insert it into the corresponding hole. That's how babies get made.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of safe sex songs too. It's weird because at that time, sex was a very dangerous thing.
Yep, it was as dangerous as it was ever going to get.
And it was
we don't have to take our clothes off. Yeah, have a good time.
Wait, what was that?
Clothes off. That was me acting like I know how to harmonize.
No, but I mean, what was that? I never heard. Is that a real song?
We don't have to take our clothes off and have a good time. Oh no,
I don't remember that one. We could just play a board game and meet your parents and be a tribe.
It's all about over the pants hand jobs.
Jason,
Dry humping is the best kind because you never have to find out what's inside.
Jason, how many minutes front to back do you think you spent on camera on SNL doing the Running Man?
I bet if you add it up together, it's going to be a lot. It's going to seem like a lot more just in perception, but I bet it's probably 12 minutes, and it was exhausting. I have a real bone to pick with this whole new Running Man challenge. I don't like new generations taking things like I know I gave hashtag away. That was Pound when I was a kid. We gave it away. But the Running Man challenge, which I love the song, I love the spirit behind it, but it's not the Running Man. And I just want to put that on record.
What is the Running Man challenge?
The Running Man challenge is that it's to that great song. I forget who sings it. But it's like a kid started in a high school, and it's them dancing, and then now college basketball teams did it, and it hasn't hit like water bucket challenge level, and there's no charity attached to it whatsoever that I know of.
People are just like, let's get these diseases out of the way.
But it's just
I challenge you to eat a candy bar.
It's just exactly.
For who? For me.
For me.
For friendship.
For your tummy. You're starving.
For hunger.
You know, it's a bummer. A friend of mine who's hangs out at our local bar, the Drawing Room. He's an editor. And he said, "Hey Jeff, if you're free over the next couple of days, I want you to be in this. I need a couple extra clips for this music video that I'm editing, and it's like a silly song, but I think it's gonna be pretty big." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. It sounds dumb." And so he sent me this clip, and like, he sends me a clip of like what I have to do, like there's a dance I have to do. I'm like, I don't know. And so I said, like, there's some friends of mine, they should be in it, and they were in it. And he's like, I think you should be in it. It'd be really funny to have you in it. And what it was the Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay video. And I could have been in that stupid piece of shit. How funny would that be, just for me in a suit, just doing the whip or the nay nay?
I don't know what it is. I'm behind. I don't know what it is.
You know what it is.
It's like you remember what the Macarena was? Like you're a structure guy. Like it's like just extrapolate.
Well, yeah, but that's how you become a curmudgeon, is by saying, sounds like another Macarena.
No. Well, only if...
This is just the shadow again.
No, but I mean...
This Star Wars.
But then you're not remembering how much joy the Macarena gave you, especially you.
Yeah, no, me specifically, yes.
Yeah.
I called you about it.
Yeah, because there was no
3 in the morning.
Yeah, no, I know.
I don't know what to do.
And it wasn't even weird to get a phone call.
No.
That's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, I know. It's pretty intense. And I think you said it made you feel like you went to spring break, even though you never got to go to spring break or something. Whatever it was, that joy that you had at that point, people are whipping a nay-nay and getting that joy.
All right. No, I did. I went to visit my parents in Florida once.
Only once?
One time too many. That's some crazy family. They should be on TV. The Harmons.
We wouldn't call it Harmontown? No. Why would you?
No, I'm not cutting up this pie into any more slices.
This shit's solid gold, baby.
You think I want Sony Crackle getting a piece of this action? The Macarena. I went to visit my parents in Florida when the Macarena was popular, and there was this. It's Florida, and they lived in this like kind of community for old people. My parents were like, they would go to like early bird dinners and stuff, and there was this sort of big wooden deck, and there was a woman with a boombox, and there was a bunch of old people. They were all learning the Macarena, and I was like, this is my chance to learn the Macarena without any concern about anything. If anything, I'm like, no matter how awkward I am, I'm still like Jamie Lee Curtis in Perfect. You know, like I'm still our John Travolta. Like
there's a good chance you're going to pick it up before them.
Yeah,
like,
and I could just like if no one's going to beat me up, and if anyone makes fun of me, I'll push them over and run. And so I, you know, my then girlfriend and I like we learned the Macarena, and it was fun. I understand the cultural.
Do you still know it?
I don't need to sign off on the cultural efficacy of popular songs.
Yeah,
it's there.
Yeah.
But what's this whip whip my nay nay?
I don't know how to do it. It ends like this.
Whip whip my nay nay. Whip whip my nay nay.
But my friend Rich, who edited the video, he sent me this clip of the guy. What's his name? I don't even know
I don't remember.
Cilento. Cilento. And he sent me
He's
this
served
clip.
with your food,
and
but it tastes like soap.
I think I still have this clip. It's Cilento talking straight to camera, saying, "All right, there's a bunch of dances in this one. This one's called the whip, and this one's called the nay nay." And so he shows them all. And one's called "Watch Me, Watch Me, Watch Me, Watch Me, Watch Me, Watch Me." Okay, the next one's called "Don't Watch Me, Don't Watch Me." Like, it's just like it went on forever, and I was like, "This guy looks like a lunatic."
I think you have that clip. Would you press play on that clip right now, Jeff? And press play on that clip. I think we have it right now. I think we have it.
Oh yeah, I do. Play.
Forte, do it.
Oh, yeah. He's setting the table. He's setting the table. Oh God! set that table. Set that table.
Well, yeah.
Oh, he's going upstairs.
Oh,
he forgot something.
He's climbing a ladder.
He's going. Where's he going?
Oh,
he's looking around.
Oh shit! Oh no!
He sees a bear. He sees a bear. Oh God! He's no, he doesn't know what to do. He's
Get out of there, Forte.
He's calling on the phone.
Get out of there.
Hello. There's a bear over there. He's got to do something. He's getting out the belt. He's calling on a different phone. You gotta talk to me on a different phone. Now he's talking on the other phone.
Landline. This is the landline.
How come the landline? There's you hold on. Hold on, there's a bear. Just take it easy. Okay, now here's the thing. You need to understand, I'm not... Oh, shit, I hung up the phone. I can't believe I hung up the phone. I need to call that guy back. There's a bear. He's going everywhere. There's a bear. Who will I be able to call that'll make anything happen about this bear? I'm standing in a tower. I crawled up to the top of it. I can see the bear. I've got 2 phones. I shouldn't need to do more than this. I've seen the bear. There's got to be something I can do. I got to get through to these people. Wait. I'm yelling. I'm hanging up. I'm just sitting down and I'm crying. The bear's gone. He's gone. Well, he's got more bears with him. I gotta call both phones now. All right, I'm telling you, there's multiple bears. There's a bear problem out here. Dear God in heaven. Why? Oh, I destroyed my phone. I'm becoming bear. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Okay. Well, that phone's broken. I can't use that one anymore. All right. Okay. I'm lighting the phone on fire. I'm putting a basket over it, and I'm making smoke signals inside the hut. And it's signaling the bears. Hey, bears. If there's smoke in the air, that means that you should go up in the sky. Because there's probably salmon up there, and everyone loves smoked salmon. I did it. Yay. There they go. They're all leaving. I did it right. Time to pick up these hot coals and just play with them in my palm. Ow! God damn it, that hurt.
And I feel like
I just meant like I thought you were going to do the voice of the guy that was going to do the nay and do the shit.
I was doing the...
Right, no, you were doing the actual nay and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because now, like, the Macarena was back in the 90s. The dances now are a lot more complicated.
Oh,
they tell the whole story now.
Yeah.
Did you guys do that bear hunt when you were kids in like pre-kindergarten at daycare center?
No.
Like we're going on a bear hunt and
Yes,
there was a thing you would crawl a tree and then you would look. I think you call it crawling a tree.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
You'd turn the lights off and everybody would unbuckle their pants. And then you would.
Found one.
I found a bear. Found a bear. Found a bear.
I remember when I was in preschool. I was like maybe just 4 years old, and no one teaches you how to play doctor. But we actually like when the teacher left the class, we got Gloria something or other. I forget her last name. She volunteered to take her clothes off, lay under the teacher's desk, and all of the men in the classroom.
Well, if you just
were
remember her
surgeons.
lawyer's name, we can call it.
For real?
I forgot her last name. Gloria, I forgot her last name. We assaulted her.
Gloria.
So she had all of her clothes off.
She took her clothes off, and me and Jeffrey Kim, who was a Korean kid, he and I were like the two surgeons.
Why do you have to say his race?
Well, it comes into play.
It fucking better.
You're gonna want to know he was Korean. What goes down? But it was just like the kids exploring each other's body. It was totally all right.
Yeah. And this was preschool?
Preschool.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's good, because that really explained why we needed to know he was Korean.
It really came into play. He definitely came into play.
So anyway, so I'm fucking Jeffrey Kim, and I mean fucking him, Korean style.
Oh, there we go.
Okay,
That makes sense.
Okay.
I got you. Yeah.
And the teacher comes back. I found the Elmers. What the fuck is going on here?
Stop fucking Jeffrey Kim.
Get that out of Jeffrey Kim right now.
And put it
in the...
So Jeffrey Kim starts fucking the teacher. It was way out of hand, man.
That was the 70s, man.
It was the 70s.
I had my principal's name was Mr. Fromgen, and I'm okay. I'm okay using that name because I would love to go to court and talk about what an asshole he was. But he loved drills. He loved not power drills. Like he had a hand crank siren, but it was supposed to be mounted. It had screw holes on it. You could see it was supposed to be mounted on a counter, but he would walk around going.
Why would he make the noise if he had the drill? That makes sense.
Ignoring
It's
him.
redundant.
That's like having a cow and going.
The sound that comes out of the thing is so great too. It's a waste.
But there were tornado drills, fire drills, tornado drills, and there were
tornadoes
bomb
in
drills.
Milwaukee.
And bomb drills were funny back then because bomb drills meant you should grow a mohawk because World War III is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Russians have launched 47,000 missiles.
At Brown Deer, Wisconsin. Gotta take out that Brown Deer, Wisconsin.
Now it's come full circle where bomb drill means holy shit, a kid brought a fucking bomb to school.
Yeah. It's a different thing.
It's not funny anymore.
The hashtag, the Running Man, I'm telling you. Oh, well.
But he would take us into the unfinished area or basement of the school and explain to us
Turn out the lights.
whether or not we had survived the tornado or fire or bomb in question. But I remember the beginnings of the drills would be like line up boy girl like
That seems silly.
like the gender.
These will be your mates.
Yeah.
Your job is to repopulate the planet.
Sperm providers and
Yes.
patty cake makers will be the foundation of our new society. Tornadoes are repelled by glass ceilings. Bombs bounce off of them. Gender dichotomy will be our new weapon against the mutants.
We were like 2 blocks away from our neighborhood's tornado siren and in Kansas, and it was frightening. The sky would turn like green, like legit green, and it would be the stillness, and then the siren would start. And we'd go look at the window, and me and my younger sisters, and we'd be like, "Oh God!" And then we'd have to run down the basement.
You lived in tornado world.
Yeah. It was like literally, like the fucking movie that showed on once a year that like where tornadoes were famous in Kansas.
When tornadoes were famous.
Yeah.
Your new A&E show.
Before Twister got it. Twister snatched it from us
when
for a little
tornadoes
while.
were famous. You're like Archie Bunker. Geez, now these colored people, they got all the headlines. Remember when tornadoes were famous? All you had to do was know a few steps to rip up a trailer. That was talent. Now this Sammy Davis, this Nat King Cole.
Jason, did you ever see like an actual tornado, like a twister?
No, never. No.
Were you sad when that mean old lady took your little dog from you? And
No, because my sisters wanted the dog. I was a little bit more. Also, I believe you got to ride the horse in the direction it's facing.
I have a very faint childhood memory because my great grandpa was from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
right near you.
Sure. Yes. I mean,
in Tornado World.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have a very, very like remote childhood memory of like, you know how when you're a kid you pretend to be asleep to get the free ride to the car, like you just figured that out.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if parents know that like 85% of the time a sleeping child is just faking it. Like do we ever
wants to be carried.
call them on it? But I guess that's like sleep shaming, and you don't want to do that either. Because part of it, you would listen and you would be like, I remember I would do that at like grandma's house, and they'd go, "Is he really sleeping? Is he faking?" And I'd be like, "Fuck you, bitch."
You'd think that or say that?
I would think. I wouldn't say it. I'm not a Who Framed Roger Rabbit character.
Yeah, I feel
I didn't have that word power yet.
Yeah.
I was like, I would have been goo goo gaga, but I was like, don't you dare, like Aunt Susie, don't you dare like sleep shame me. I could be asleep. That's what's important.
All you're doing half the time I'm awake, you're hoping I fall asleep.
Yeah, all you do is you always like complaining about my energy level. I lay down in a sleeping bag and you tell me that I look cute. What do you think I'm going to keep doing? Anything that provides comfort is a potential addiction.
Yeah. Let's roll with it. Get me in the car, get me home, and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, fucking lame. It's like, I'm the sack of potatoes you always hoped I'd be.
so much anger. An angry little child.
They poured it into me like a sponge. Their anger, not mine. Yours.
So you
all of yours. Ah! So I have this faint memory of like being carried. I was pretensy sleeping, and my dad carried me through what seemed like a tornado. There was we went to the tornado cellar. Yeah. Every place in the lower Midwest has a tornado cellar.
Yeah.
It's not like a special thing like bomb shelters. It's like everybody has a tornado cellar. And did you guys?
We just had a
one?
basement. The basement was underground, like legit.
Right.
So
oh, no, I
don't mean to brag. But yeah, it was fully underground.
We hid under.
Yeah, like
we used to hide under the pool table.
Yeah. You got to make that's a good way.
What do you guys think about that
triangle?
earthquake thing? They go like hide under a thing. It's like, isn't that just to create a pocket of air so you die slowly?
You're supposed to do it. Find a triangle, right? Yeah.
You're supposed to find something that won't immediately break by the initial impact of everything above you, but that just means that you'll take days to die.
Yeah, I mean.
Because either something's falling, either you're aware things are falling that much on top of you,
right.
In which case you're either dead right away or dead in 3 days. This is my opinion. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But when they say, like, find a doorway, they're like, there's been that cynical joke of that's where they look to find you.
Right.
But I think that there's a truth to that, where they're saying, like, well, there's air pockets, structural air pockets. And that's where people have been for, like, 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm somewhat claustrophobic.
Yeah, but that might be a first world problem. That the second you're sort of underneath a bunch of rubble, you'll be like, oh, this is a lot worse than not. So like not existing.
In the third world, they're like, actually, at least my boss isn't whipping me.
Yeah. Third world, it's like the world's the earth's shaking. This could all turn out better than it was.
They're like, snow day.
I would only assume.
When we were kids, when it would snow and we couldn't go to school, we'd run out and dig holes in the snow and stay in it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. The rest of the world is so poor.
When I was a kid here, I don't know if it happens anymore, but when I was a kid, there were smog days where the air quality was so bad we weren't allowed to go outside and have recess because you would get like a burning, like painful chest. Like it was really, really bad. You couldn't go to like basketball practice or anything. You had to stay inside and not ever go outside because the smog was so bad.
Yeah.
Then they took the lead out of the gasoline, and I think that stopped.
That's a lie. That's a huge lie. That's very, very a huge lie. I can't.
You know Sammy Snopes. This is Sammy
I'm
Snopes.
Sammy Snopes. That's a huge lie. I love Hitler, and I'm orange. I'm Stanny Snopes.
Are you doing Trump or Woody Allen?
I was trying to do Trump, but I don't have a Trump.
You gotta start with "you're fired." That's like your.
You're fired. Yeah,
you go.
You're fired.
You're fired.
And then it comes.
You gotta say it like
fired.
you fired.
You're fired.
You're fired.
I'm Vinny
now I can be
Barbarino.
Sammy Snopes because I started with "you're fired." You're fired. See, it's
you link right into
automatically everyone is agreeing that this is a fantastic Trump impersonation.
Fired.
You're fired.
I just shot with Dana Carvey, and he has an amazing Trump. Of
course,
he has these. His impressions are always like that amazing. Like
What does it sound like?
I can't. But
Start with your fire.
As with his impressions, if you hear them, then everyone will be doing Trump perfectly because it's
Will
like
and
that George
Jason.
Bush thing.
Will and Jason, do you know that Dan does a really good Ice-T impression?
No, does he?
It's pretty good. Do you want a beat, or you want to just do it yourself?
No, just give me a topic. I'll talk about
Rain shoes.
rain shoes.
Rain shoes? Like rain boots?
Rain shoes.
Yeah. Rain shoes.
Listen, man. Everything you've been wearing on your feet, shit. That ain't shit. New rain shoes, it ain't personal. It's business. I kind of lost my momentum.
That was it.
It's not polite to make people. The back loved it.
They're like, oh shit, another guest.
Yeah, they don't know that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Ice-T's here.
Now,
Shut the fuck up, Ice-T's here. Listen!
Dan and Rob, what a lot of people don't know is that Jason Sudeikis does one of the greatest Rosie Perez impressions you've ever heard.
Billy! Oh, Billy! What is a quince? She lives right near us in Brooklyn. And
What?
Rosie Perez lives right near us. I just watched White Man Can't Jump recently. Delightful movie.
It's a
An
good movie?
independent movie. This is really, like, in comparison. No, not at all. It was a big old studio movie, but
I
when
loved
you
it.
watch it, you're just like, oh my God, this is
the
like...
outfit that Wesley Snipes wears while playing basketball is one of the most hilarious things. No one's ever played sports wearing a painter's hat.
He's like a gay Italian bicyclist.
Well, no, that's what Wesley Snipes dressed like that. Wesley Snipes' outfit is just as ridiculous because it's like he's got the bicycle hat like flipped up and like a very deep cut tank top. Were you saying Wesley or Woody?
Yeah, he's
I'm sorry. Woody Harrelson's outfit's pretty nuts too.
It's awesomely 80s. It's really good. 90s, 80s.
90s, I think, or 89, maybe
early
91.
90, 91.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we saw her at a restaurant right when we first moved to the hood, and she goes, "Oh, you guys live here? Oh no." What? I
Here
think,
comes the neighborhood.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, Olivia Wilde lives there. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, great. I kind of took it. I wear it with a badge of honor. I like that. It's like, yeah, I guess so.
amazing.
Yeah. She wasn't like. She was. Maybe she was not kidding. Golly, this dummy thought it was a joke. Maybe it wasn't. As I'm saying it now, I'm like,
Is it okay to talk about what your wife is doing while she's here?
yeah, I think so.
She's just fucking a bunch of dudes, right?
yeah, yeah. I think,
That's fine. You're fine with that, right? Is this called cuckold fetish? What's it called?
well, it's not a. I mean, I have no.
You don't like it.
It doesn't turn me on. No,
Right.
but I don't. But I don't hate it. You
Right.
know what I mean? It's like.
She's the breadwinner, and it's gonna be how it's gonna be.
Yeah, but she's not. It's like she acquires nothing except for potentially diseases
Right.
and
you just
who
watch
knows
it,
what
you-
memories that I'll.
You try to be encouraging. You just say,
Yeah, I'm like,
great.
all right, have fun. Like, what do you say? You're just kind of like, I get it, and at the same time, you're like, I wish this wasn't the way. But then I'm also like, you know what? We only get one shot on this marble. You know.
For better or for worse. For better or for worse.
You gotta ride that horse.
The cuckold's mantra.
Yeah.
We only get one shot on this marble. No, that's not wordplay. You guys are no. That's a terrible.
No,
show.
I just touched
I thought-
touched it by accident.
First, there was a
Yeah, that's how it started.
Oh!
I was like, And I was, of course, I was like, yeah, well, okay, as long as it.
Because that's why I have this podium. Is I've been touching it by accident during the entire show.
Is she's doing a music video or something?
She's directing a music video for the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Yeah. She's had phone calls with Flea, and she's just like, oh my god, if like the 15-year-old me, like, you know, it's one of those nuts moments for her. It's their second one. She directed an Edward Sharpe video, and then this is their second.
Yeah, that doesn't. No, she doesn't need anything plugged, but I think it's worth promoting Olivia Wilde's director and producer.
100%. No, it's one of the. I mean, it's one of the most amazing things about being with her is being able to brag about her. But this one is such a cool one. I tell everybody it's more fun to brag about your partner than it is yourself. At least for me, it's like
But he gets in some brags of his own.
Yeah. He showed us the Nike closet.
Yeah.
He
I walked right in.
He didn't walk past it. He
no.
By the way, here's every shoe made by Nike.
But I did know as I was going to do it. I was like, well, these guys aren't a safe space. But here we go. I'll hear about this.
This will be podcast.
It's like, this is me. Oh well. For the record, it's the size of like an elevator.
Your house is crazy. He has an arcade down in the basement. Like you got your own little.
It's the size of an elevator, and it's on the 4th story of the first 4-story house I've ever been in my life.
Second floor.
All right, but there were 2 above us when I.
Yeah.
I've never been on that many. I've never been on that many floors of a building when I wasn't being yelled at by somebody, or being turned down for a job.
Same.
I was in a person's home and I was like on a 4th floor at one point.
It's not lost on me. I didn't pay for the whole thing. It's a 50-50 endeavor. We're hoping our little guy does something interesting and pays us back.
When you were doing the Gary Marshall movie, you're saying like I'm only doing this to pay for the rugs. I'm like, how many rugs?
There's a lot of there's a lot of rugs when you have a house, and
4 stories. It's a lot of bare floor.
And I didn't know rugs. I didn't know. Yeah, because
you got a
New
kid.
York.
4 stories plus bare floor equals a 2-year-old's. That's like a disaster. Sliding and stairs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You need rugs for that kid. Needs friction. Maximize the friction.
Pricey. Rugs are super pricey. I didn't know that.
What kind of rugs you getting? You getting some nice Persian rugs? What do you got?
I don't think there's any Persian in there. It's like ABC, like carpet.
Is it what?
There's a carpet place called ABC Carpet.
Oh, I thought it was like they were kids' rugs, like they had ABCs on them.
No, we're just no, we don't. We had someone sent us a nice little like throw rug that was all the states, but I think we donated it to a local grade school.
Did you hear that, Maya Rudolph?
Yeah. Could have given it to you.
Your fucking rug sucked.
The rug.
No, it's the thought that counts.
Oh God, no, I don't think she sent it to us. Someone sent it. She might.
Forte, do you have kids, family?
I don't.
Parents?
I got nothing, none of that.
So just by choice, or just because you're a wolf man?
I'm very late on this thing. I want to do it at some point.
You mean like you want to have sex at some point?
Jeff, I have sex.
Woo! That was like
prove it. Korean style.
All right. Well,
the show's over.
No, the shit has hit the fan.
The show is over.
Yeah, I heard the music cue.
Yeah.
You're just about to talk about my lack of family and stuff like that. I was going to get to friggin' get therapeutic here.
That's been our show. Thanks for coming to Harmontown, everybody.
I'm looking.
Let's hear it for Spencer Crittenden, Rob Schwab.
Find me out there. I'll talk to you about it.
Jason Sudeikis, Will Forte. I'm Jeff. Your mayor is Dan. Thank you for coming, everybody. Drive fast and take chances.